Hi. So we're continuing with our notes for 1-3 subtracting integers. And we're looking at some examples. So we just talked about that adding the opposite. So adding the opposite here. I've got some rules or some steps here that you can use to walk you through it. And that first step says to keep the first number the same, right down here in this little rules box. Keep the number the same. Keep that first number the same. Change the subtraction sign to addition, and take the opposite of the second number. 3 little things that can kind of help you out there. So looking at our first example, we are keeping the first number the same. So -7 is staying as -7. And keep in mind, on your homework, I ask you to rewrite the subtraction problems as addition to show work. So that is how you're going to show me your work for these problems. So please make sure that you're doing that. So -7, okay? Change the subtraction sign to addition. So I'm going to take that subtraction, and I like to just draw a little arrow from it because then it reminds me that I used it already. So I'm changing that to addition, and then taking the opposite of the second number, the opposite of positive 12, because again, that negative is the minus sign, is a -12. So -7 plus -12. And then I just use my adding rules. Those are the same signs, so I can add them and keep the sign. 12 plus 7 is 19, and then they're both negative, so my answer is -19. Looking at example 2. Different here. This time we have some more negatives going on than we did in our first example, but still a subtraction problem. Still a subtraction problem, so I can still rewrite that as addition, following those same 3 steps. So first one, keep that first number the same. So that -4 is staying exactly the same and just getting carried right down. The minus sign, or the subtraction sign, is changing to addition. And I'm taking the opposite of the second number. So this second number is clearly a -5. And I can see that because, one, I already used the minus sign, so there can't be another minus sign. And you can also tell that that negative belongs to the 5 because of the parentheses that are kind of reminding you that they're grouped together. So the opposite of a -5 is just changing the sign from positive, or from negative to positive. So now here I've got adding integers with different signs, which, if you don't remember your rule, I've got it right down there. Subtract and keep the sign of the larger. So 5 minus 4 is 1. And what do I have more of? Do I have more positives or more negatives here? More positives, so my answer is a positive 1. And now example 3. 8 minus 15. So definitely subtraction, right? We've definitely got the minus sign in between, so we can absolutely rewrite that as addition. So keep that first number the same. The 8 gets carried down. Change the subtraction sign to addition, and take the opposite of that second number, which is positive 15. The opposite of positive 15 is a -15. Notice how I didn't write parentheses around that -12 over here, or there's -15. You totally can, as long as you make sure you have that plus sign in between. So now I'm adding integers with different signs. I have 15 minus 8. So 15 minus 8 is 5, 6, 3, 7. Ooh, that's a terrible looking 7. And now, do I have more positives or do I have more negatives? I would have 8 plus signs in my circle and 15 negatives, meaning I would have more negatives left over. So my answer is -7. So we got those 3 examples right there, and let's just actually go ahead and do this last example in the box here instead of making a separate video for that, because we're just about done. So just like we went over, add the opposite. When I say add the opposite, these are the 3 steps that I mean. Keep that first number the same, so -5 stays exactly the same. That subtraction gets changed to addition, and the -5 turns to a +5 because that's the opposite of a -5. -5 plus 5, well, adding integers with different signs, subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0, and 0 can't be positive or negative. Boom sauce. Just like in our last lesson, these rules apply for only adding 2 integers at a time, so keep that in mind. All right, go ahead, give the homework problems a try, and like I said, you need to show me the rewritten expression using that add the opposite process in order to get full credit. Gracias.